Good morning. I'm a little disorganized this morning. I just got back from my walk where I had this cool idea. You know, magic is what you make it. And even the most traditional Kabbalistic, Solomonic, grimoire-ish texts and magical books and grimoires and things are really just reproductions, copies of one magician's work. Some magician made up the Goetia. Some magician made up the Enochian system. It was somebody's personal thing that seemed to work good enough for them that they enshrined it in a text of some kind, and it has come down to us, and it works as well as it can work. But it'll only work as you apply your own personal magic to it. So my Goetic operations are done a little bit different than another Goetic or Solomonic magician might do. That's because we've each added, either consciously or subconsciously, our own magical touch to it. And many of us are probably familiar with the angels of the Shemhamphorash. Okay, there's 72 angels that are more or less applied to 5-degree periods of the zodiac, and their names are derived in a very curious way, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment here. But anyway, so these are angels that are assigned to this decan, or this 10-degree period in the zodiac, from 0 degrees to 10 degrees of Scorpio. And there's the name of the first 5 degrees of Scorpio. It's an angel. And you'll notice that the angel's name ends in an AH, which means that it's a particular angel of mercy. And so does this one. And this is the second 5 degrees of that decan of Scorpio. And there's a day and a night demon of the Goetia that go with it too. But these are called angels of the Shemhamphorash, and their names have been derived by here, I'll hold up a sort of a chart. Now this isn't 72, this is actually 32 squares. But their names are derived by a curious process that was very, very sacred and held in awe, magical, mystical awe, by the Kabbalistic magicians that devised that system. So they wanted to shoot for they wanted to make angels, or determine the angel names for Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, the god Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Now, the god Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is so big, so all-encompassing, so singular, so monanish, monotheish, that all of the work that's done in the universe is springs from the mind of Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. But that means to get all of the little shit done in the universe, Yod He Vav He makes from out of itself a whole menagerie of angels and spiritual forces to be the executor of all of these individual acts of creation, sustenance, and destruction. So in other words, Yod He Vav He takes out of itself little aspects of itself to act as all the things that keep the universe and you and me in existence. So what the Kabbalists did was they spelled Yod He Vav He. Yod He Vav He adds up to 26, by the way. And so they played with the 26 and got all sorts of stuff out of it. The neatest thing they got out of it was 26 is 2 times 13. 13 is such a big, wonderful number in Kabbalah. It's the number of love, and it's the name of one, unity, singularity itself. And 13 twice is breaking up this divine unity into the wrong of the beginning of taking one and splitting it in two. And so they took Yod He, Vav He, and instead of spelling it normally from right to left, they spelled it like this. Hang on. Yod He Vav, and then Yod He Vav He. They put it in a Yod He Vav He Ragmop. And instead of Yod He Vav He being 26, that little pyramid adds up to 72. And they went, ooh, 72 is 36 times 2. Oh boy, we can break 72 up into 72 periods of 5 degrees. And we can figure out an angel that rules every almost less than a week in the year. Every 5 days an angel rules that time period, or rules 72 split up aspects of what Yod He Vav He does. And so they found 3 consecutive verses in Exodus, very, very behold his mighty hand verses, memorable verses. And they just found out that 3 consecutive ones added up to 72 Hebrew letters. And so they spelled those 3 verses like that. First one on the top, and then they snaked around the second verse with 72, and then they snaked back like that. And then they read the names from top to bottom to get 72 3-letter names of God. Then at the bottom they added an AH or an AL or an IH or an AL to assign that 72nd portion of God, assign it a particular angel that does its work for it. And those are the 72 angels of the Shemhamphorash. Those that either a 5-letter name of an angel that's the executor of the 3-letter name of God, the divided name of God. I hope I haven't confused you more than I've informed you just now, but my point isn't the Shemhamphorash angels, which they took that even further, and well, what kind of angel is this? What does this angel do? And they found 72 places in the Pentateuch, or Pentateuch in Psalms, I think, where the letters Yod He Vav He, the name Yod He Vav He specifically is used. And then they read that section of Scripture to get an idea of what the angel is doing. So if it's a happy Scripture, it's be an angel of let the good times roll. Or if it's one of those lamentations or something, oh, angel down on the mouth or something like that. So not only do they have the angel names, they have kind of what the angel's gig is even. And that's how they created the angels of the Shemhamphorash. And they're assigned to all sorts of things. And look what I did with the Tarot of Ceremonial Magic in how I assigned them. And so there's astrological aspects to it, because once you place them in a certain place in the zodiac, that certain place in the zodiac has planets that are happy there and planets that are unhappy there. In other words, they have astrological characteristics too. You're literally, that magician literally created a universe of spiritual forces with names that they could pronounce, names that they could hold in their imagination, even how the angel looked and what the angel did. And then through the magician's own personal magic, assigned those angels to different projects in the magician's magical career. That being said, this morning, walking to coffee, as I went to temple, it occurred to me that each of us could use this same technique to create our own personal menagerie of angels, our own group of private angels that we could name, that we could imagine, that we could paint in our minds, that we could assign projects to. We could, in our own way, fractalize our own personal universe, and each individual fractal and subfractal, we could assign a name, characteristics, jobs, and things like that. Here's what I did. And I did this at the coffee shop. Instead of 72, I tore a page out of the very opening lines of the Sefer Yetzirah, where it said Yah, or the singularity, created everything, created the universe in 32 paths of wisdom. 10 numbers out of nothing, and 22 letters. Okay, that's our classic tree of life thing. Okay, 10 Sephirah and 22 paths joining the 10 Sephirah. So I thought, wow, let's create a 32 grid, okay? And those 32 grids, the first 10, look at the top there, the first 10, and I've got it going from left to right like English, first 10 would be the 10 Sephiroth of the Tree of Life, and starting with 11, which would be the Fool card, or, okay, and so you see the 0 above the 11 too. Beginning with 11, those are the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Okay, now the very top numbers aren't the numeration of the Hebrew letters. They are the tarot trump assigned numbers, the key numbers of the tarot. But so there's 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet, but we're only going to 21 because there's only 21 key numbers of the tarot. Now, I won't say most, but many modern ceremonial magicians or Hermetic Kabbalists use this 32 paths of wisdom as a foundation of how we fractalize our universe. So I thought, well, that's pretty good, and I just printed out. This is why I'm late this morning. Printed out a little chart here, so I had quite a few to work with, and I'm getting around to it. I'm encouraging you to do the same. And I'm only using the example of 32. You could use 36 and have it as decans of the zodiac. You could do it 72, just like the Shemhamphorash. Or you could do it 10, or you could do it 7 to go for the planetary things. It's up to you. You are your own magician. But anyway, just as an example. Now, instead of the scripture of the Pentateuch, I personally hold Liber Alvel Legis in particular sacredness. It's sacred to me. And just sitting in the patio of the coffee shop today, I took out a blank chart that I printed and stuffed in my pocket, and I put little quotes from each of the 3 chapters of the Book of the Law. Let's see. I am Nuit, and my word is 6, and it's spelled out, and 50. Divide, and it comes back around. Add, multiply, and understand. And I continue. I, Hadit, am the complement of Nu, my bride. And I just had 6 letters left. So I got the 3rd chapter guy in, Ra-hor. So I am Namit, and my word is 6 and 50. Divide, add, multiply, and understand. I am Hadit, the complement of Nu, my bride. Okay. So I've done that. Okay. Now what I've got, let's see, I guess I'll start it this way, but I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, now I start to read these characters Number 1, I-T, tit, tital. Now, I've just arbitrarily assigned alternating A-L-A-I-H, A-L-I-H. So, in this particular case, tital would be the angel of that aspect of deity that's tit. And the milk of the stars from her paps, yea, the milk of the... We could just go all over the place with that. So when I got home, I printed out a version of it, because this is just a prototype of how this might work. I'm sure I could find other verses in the Book of the Law that more easily fit into that 32 structure. But I just sitting in the coffee shop did that this morning. And I printed this out and posted it on my Facebook page this morning so that you could, if you wanted to, and if you're interested enough, you could do this yourself. Okay, there's just 3 rows of 32 cells. And whatever it is you choose as your holy text, whatever it is, you would start here, go all the way to the end, and whatever you're going to continue with, then from this point, drop there and print it backwards, if you will. And then as it continues, you do this like this, okay, all the way to there. So there's your 32. Now, instead of assigning them, well, to the days of the year or the decans or the periods of 5 degree, each of these angels would represent Tital, okay, would be the angel of Kether, or number 1 on the tree of life. And the next one would be Hokmah, Bina, Hesed, Geburah, Tifereth, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malkuth. So let's see what the angel of Malkuth would be there. So that would be 10. DSP. A-L-I-H, A-L-I-H. DSPia. Okay. And then the rest, the 22, are broken up into, just like the tarot, broken up into 3 primitive elements, 7 planetary, and 12 zodiac signs. So those would be assigned to those. It could work out pretty damn cool. And if you took the scripture that you're going to use seriously enough, if it triggers within you this same divine awe as the Kabbalists had for Yod-He Vav-He, and their particular scriptures, and you wanted to get into it that much, this would be at least quite an exercise in organizing your own personal magical universe. Now, I get a lot of emails and things from people that say, I'm magical. I love to do magic, but I don't identify with I don't identify with a Shar. I don't identify with Yod-Hey Vav-Hey. Gab, it sounds so, I got so much baggage from all of the bad taste in my mouth left by Bible thumpers in my past. Jesus, isn't there a magic for me? Aren't there angels for me? Yes, but you got to make them up yourself. Or you should make them up yourself. Anyway, I'm going to hold this up, and I'm going to try to hold it up in a legible way, long enough for you to, and they're just three of the same thing. So just if you can get a screen capture of that, you can start your experiments with this. Anyway, that's it for today. It feels like a Monday night class, actually, because I'm putting it all on you. Anyway, here's the 32 that we're talking about. The 10, first 10 are the Sephiroth, and the 22 are the paths. Till tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love's the law, love under will.